Hey guys, welcome to London Lit's YouTube channel. Welcome if you're new and welcome if you're not. So today, guys, we're talking about Porsha Williams and her husband Simon. Simon, we thought, was a businessman who had his ish together, but we're finding out that Simon is allegedly a criminal. He's got a criminal history. Now, Simon apparently has been involved in fraud, felony charges, and now he may be getting deported. Now, Simon, he actually came to America a long time ago. In 1980, he came over to America and he had, so many charges, financial crimes he'd been doing. So he was a shifty guy. And he came over to America and he came over on a visitor's visa. Okay, now, when he got here, he was feeling like he wants to stay in the country. So he decided to do one of those fake marriages. He went and done that, fake marriage that was not true to a woman just so he could get, his paperwork. So he was faking being in this marriage to this woman, but he got caught. They found out. They didn't believe him. They found out his marriage was fake. And, he was basically caught. So he just decided to just leave the USA. It wasn't going to work out for him. They had caught him at his, sneaky game. They caught him out with the fake marriage. He probably paid the woman to marry him. And, a lot of people would do it for the cash. Or he just, faked to her that he was in love and she just let them know. Either way, he left the country. He couldn't be bothered. It was long for him. So he went back to his country. But, he still didn't want to be, in Nigeria. He still wanted to come back to America. So he was back 6 months later. This time he was back. He had a visitor's visa. But he didn't want to go back home. So he then overstayed. Now, Simon's not the first person to overstay. A lot of people overstay when they don't want to go back. The visa period is not that long. But anyway, while he was overstaying, you would think he would get caught for that. But no, before he got caught for that, Simon got caught for bank and credit card fraud. So he'd done some fraud on some, bank and credit card fraud. And he didn't do this once. He'd done this many times and he was caught. Then he got hit with some felony charges. And you know what happened to him? Obviously, the USA, they wanted him out. So they started saying, time to deport this guy. Deportation procedures were coming for him. But Simon, and let's just say allegedly, Simon allegedly still was not willing to go back. So while, obviously they were busy trying to get him out of the country, Simon went and got another green card. And this time he decided to do more crimes. So imagine this, right? He's already allegedly just been caught for bank and credit card fraud charges. You would think he'd want to, not get in any more trouble. But, Simon, allegedly wanted to stay in the country. So he went and got a green card. And this time he used fake identity to get it. He decided to be able to get his visa, he's going to apply to be an agricultural worker. And he basically applied for an immigration program, which would allow him to stay in the USA. When he filled in that form, he allegedly did not tell them that he has a criminal history. And they let him, have his green card because they didn't know he was a criminal. And they didn't know he was using fake ID. So after that, he was allowed to stay in the USA. Years went by and Simon was living his best life. But at the end of the day, he still wanted naturalization in the USA. So he decided, I've been here a while. Time to try and become, a full-time permanent citizen in the USA. Because he has had his green card for quite a long time. He was fed up with just holding a green card. So he decided to apply. And, they caught him. They said, look, your status was given illegally. It was unlawfully granted. So this left Simon with a really big challenge. The challenge was to try and get his, his naturalization. He still wanted that, permanent security that you get from having it. Because you can imagine being on a visa, you never quite feel secure. And especially knowing that you got the visa illegally. So, he wanted to just sort this out. So he went to the government, and not once, not twice, not 3 times. He just kept coming back. They closed that door and Simon would be back. And, he wanted them to overturn their decision. But, they did not want to. This left Simon with a big dilemma. What the hell is he meant to do? He wants to stay in America permanently. He knows he's there, under fraudulent circumstances, right? He's there, he's fraudulently got himself, this status in America. Now they know and they're not letting him stay. So he's just been left trying to figure out what he kind of needs to do. It does make you wonder if Simon got married to Porsha to secure his, permanent residency in the USA. Because normally when you get married, you're able to obtain, citizenship. And his first marriage, of course, that was fake. But, you know, now he's got married again. Could he have just married Porsha to basically get the paperwork? Now, I'm not saying Porsha's not attractive and Porsha's got her own money, but the fact that he got married to her, that may be why. Because obviously at the time of the marriage, I doubt she was even aware of the fact that Simon does not really have permanent residency and got his green card using fraud. I guess we're going to just have to see how this works out. Porsha may have to consider just moving to Africa with Simon. I mean, he's got a lot of money. They could definitely survive out in Africa and he could do business from abroad. But I'm sure he's going to be putting, you know, a lot of money into trying to fight his case and trying to see if he can get permanent residency. Simon's situation explains why Porsha is coming back to the Housewives of Atlanta. It's because she probably doesn't have the same stability she had with Simon now. Like, Simon has to get out of the country. She may just want to, you know, keep it moving and move on without him. She may not necessarily want to go with him. And she probably just feels like Simon is not, you know, somebody she can properly rely on now. She may have not known about his criminal history neither, because Porsha was living her best life just, you know, getting them coins of Simon. And it's quite a coincidence that now Simon's going through this thing that Porsha's, you know, got back to work. If Porsha was to break up with Simon right now, she would go down as a gold digger, because a lot of people already think Porsha is some sort of a gold digger. They feel like she was gold digging of Cordell. They feel like, you know, she was throws herself at men who have got money. They even feel like, you know, she went for Simon because of his wealth. So if she breaks up with him, she's going to be, you know, looking like a full-on gold digger. Now, Simon's ex Fallon, she admitted that she did not actually miss Simon, but what she does miss is Simon's money. So we know Simon's a big spender when he gets with a woman. And honestly, I don't think Simon cares if a woman is with him for the money. I feel like he just wants, you know, youth. He just wants a young, beautiful woman, and he doesn't care if she's faking it or not. I don't know if you remember when Porsha was doing this show. It was like a spin-off, and her ex was on there, and Porsha was on there with her ex, and you could tell she kind of wanted to go back to her ex. And Simon sat there and he said nothing. Porsha just disrespected him throughout the whole show, but he didn't care because he only cares about having, you know, a beautiful woman. I guess you could say he's kind of shallow. Some people, you know, they kind of get it wrong. They feel like to be a gold digger, you have to have, you know, not a lot of money to want to be a gold digger. But nope. You know, rich women are often the biggest gold diggers of all. We see women out there, they have a lot of money and they marry like a really old guy, a really disgusting looking guy. They marry anybody because he has more money, because they're always trying to build up their wealth level. So they don't care. They're actually more willing to be with somebody they don't like than like the average woman. So you'll get a woman who is, you know, poor, and she'll get an offer of a man that's got more money than her, and she may decline. But rich women, you know, they're greedy and they're really always trying to build on that wealth, and they don't care what the man looks like as long as his wealth levels is really, really high. I mean, we see it all the time. Beyonce and Jay-Z. What is going on with Beyonce and Jay-Z? Well, allegedly they are separated. They are putting on a united front to the public, but allegedly behind the scenes they are not a couple. Why are they not a couple? There could be many reasons. One of the reasons could be that he's about to be, you know, implemented in the same kind of accusations that P. Diddy has had. Apparently, you know, them two are friends, so there's a good chance he's going to be, you know, accused of, you know, attending, you know, some of these freak-off parties. They're the rumours I've been hearing. Also, you know, Beyonce, she was pretty embarrassed at the awards ceremony the other day when Jay-Z, you know, called out that she had not had the best album of all time Grammy. Pretty embarrassing for her. Not enough for her to separate from him, but you can see where their relationship is at, because he should know as a husband there is no way she would want to endure that embarrassment, especially after she had that sort of embarrassment when Kanye West done it to her in the past. There's, you know, rumours that Jay-Z controls Beyonce. You guys probably heard the one when they said he gives her drugs, you know, and you remember, you know, Jaguar Wright, she spoke about them two a lot. She said that he's way worse than P. Diddy. She said that Jay-Z is worse than R. Kelly. You know, said some quite crazy things about Jay-Z. And, you know, it would explain a lot why these two are still together, because Jay-Z is riding a lot of Beyonce's career. Yes, Jay-Z was famous. Yes, Jay-Z has had hits. But I don't think he would have lasted half as long had he not got in a relationship with Beyonce. I feel like Beyonce gave him that more sort of like commercial factor. Beyonce is the one that made, you know, all the, you know, the white people love him as well, and I feel like he would have like died out. I feel like Jay-Z would have been an artist that more black people rated more than worldwide rated. Jay-Z's facing another problem. A lot of these alleged kids he has had, which they have denied and never claimed publicly, are growing up. And a lot of these kids are going to come in public now and they're going to want their dad to claim them. And whether their mums signed contracts to be silent, they personally did not. And that is going to be a big problem. There's allegedly a baby mother in Trinidad that I heard about that Jay-Z had a long time ago. He was allegedly been giving her money, but he just never does hardly see his kid, very rarely. I mean, that child's bound to come out soon. And, you know, there's a lot of things, you know, Jay-Z's probably been doing that these two have tried to cover up. But as I said, a lot of these kids are going to get older and they're going to come out. We've seen the boy that was already demanding a DNA test, which Jay-Z has refused to do. But, you know, as he gets older, more and more of these kids will grow up and they won't want to be a secret and they will come out and they will claim him as a dad. I've never really seen why Jay-Z feels the need to pretend he doesn't have other kids. I mean, when he got with Beyonce, he was pretty old compared to her. He wasn't that young. It was pretty obvious he could have had kids. It's like they're out here and they have to have the perfect image. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z, even if they're not together for another 5 years, they're not going to tell the public because they love this sort of power couple thing they've got going together. So publicly, they'll always be together. Maybe in about, you know, 10 years when no one's interested in them, the divorce may come through. But the rumours of getting a divorce, no. I don't believe they will publicly get a divorce because Beyonce won't want the image of being divorced. I think Beyonce's always been very image conscious. When she first came out, you could tell she was always rehearsed when she talked. Her voice was always so unnatural. Everything was like, oh wow, really? She was like a Disney character. So there's no way Beyonce will never be real. She's not one of those artists that's out here being real. That's why when she doesn't have a reality show, when she does do like any sort of film and it's like reality based, you can tell it's been really planned out. It's like, wow, I love to see my people dance. Jay-Z, we're just so in love and so blessed. Like, she's not natural, she's not real, she's not just going to be keeping it real and saying, my man's rubbish, he's drugging me up, I don't want that nigga no more, I got with him because he had so much money. Beyonce's not that type of character, and publicly, as I said, she won't divorce unless they're out of the limelight. She'd rather do cover-ups with her husband, and if she does file for divorce, that means the shit is about to hit the fan. That means allegations are coming out, there's bare proof to back them up, and she's just going to get out to save her reputation. But if she's sticking around, that means, you know, if there's nothing coming out that can be proven, Beyonce will be fakely being in a relationship with Jay-Z. And obviously they do have children, so she's going to want to make it work more. But also for Beyonce, she kind of learned this from her mum. Her mum stuck with Matthew for a long time, and she only broke up with Matthew because Matthew was so bad. He was paying prostitutes with Beyonce's money. He was breeding, impregnating these women. He was impregnating his own daughter's friend. He impregnated Solange's friend. He was running around with young girls, gambling, just wasting money on prostitutes, strippers. He was unbearable, and I feel like she learnt from her mum to try and stick with her husband, so she might leave Jay-Z when he gets to the unbearable level like her mum did. I'm sure Matthew was, you know, not great the whole way throughout their marriage, but when he was bad, he was awful, Matthew. He was absolutely terrible. Tina couldn't even do it. Tina couldn't do it. I think she tried her hardest, but Matthew was on the level that practically no woman could stick with him. And when it gets to the point where you have a man who is impregnating your daughter's friends, and these girls are the age of your children, like, no woman's going to be able to stick with him. Okay guys, anyway, thanks so much for watching. You know, I've gone on for a long time, so I'm gonna go, but I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.
Be the fan, that's what they call me.